Hello and welcome to Heart Check. Welcome to Heart Check. Let's just check on our hearts. I like to put my hand where my heart might be, remind myself that it's still beating. I'm still strong. We're still here. We're together. Hearts beating together. Wow. Well, I don't know about you, but it's been a hot week here in New York City. It has been hot, and it's not common for New York City and New Yorkers to have air conditioning. And so our apartment, even though it's in a basement, it can get like pretty muggy and pretty hot. And so I've been thinking a lot about just discomfort around heat. It didn't used to bother me so much. I used to love the summertime, and I loved being outside in the summertime. And as I have matured, as my body has changed, I have come to really dislike the heat. And mostly it's just that I dislike being uncomfortable, and sometimes being in the heat is like painful. If I'm in the sun too long, I get a migraine. There's all kinds of things like, getting a sunburn or walking on the hot sand that's really just uncomfortable for me. And sometimes it's just painful. And so then I'm thinking about this idea of sitting in discomfort and, feeling like sometimes it seems like discomfort is going to last forever, that we're going to be in this uncomfortable, unusual heat forever, and like it can happen in a way that like we can really talk ourselves into that. Like we can really start to believe like, I guess this is just my life now. This is just what I'm doing. I'm going to be uncomfortable for the rest of my life. But heat waves are temporary. And that pain and discomfort does eventually wane. The story reminds me of the Israelites who wandered in the heat of the desert for 40 years. Now, 40 years is a lot longer than a few days, but it's still not permanent. And I want to say that, pain and discomfort often is too much. It lasts too long. I really believe that 1 minute of discomfort is too much for us. God does not want us to be in pain just for the sake of being in pain. So discomfort is often too long, too painful, and yet it's always temporary. At least that's been my experience. And usually what I've also found is that if I follow the Spirit, if I listen to that still small voice, I can find my way out of the pain and discomfort much quicker. And maybe I can avoid it the next time something like that presents itself. I just bought a fan for my house. We don't have air conditioning, but I learned that, having a fan is a really nice thing to have when it gets to be in the 90s and full of humidity. So what is a way that you find yourself in discomfort or in pain And what is a way that you have found yourself out of that? What is a way that you take pain and discomfort and understand it as temporary? Where is your hope in the heat? Thank you for joining me today for Heart Check. Just put your hand right back here. Friends, tomorrow I'll be on IG Live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with the amazing, the unmatched, the brilliant and beautiful Shanda Rule. And I hope you will join me there to hear Shanda talk about her creative ministry. She is a jazz musician. She's a worship leader. And she's just an incredible person. And I have learned from her over the years. And now this is your opportunity to learn from her tomorrow at 3 o'clock live on IG Live. And then on Sunday, I am right back here on YouTube with a moment of hope. And I hope you'll join me there. Friends, this is all made possible by the folks over at Patreon. Patreon.com/Rebecca Stevens Walter is where you can join a community that sustains this ministry, that makes sure that this ministry can continue to thrive, that I can continue to create content that is full of hope, content that heals, content that is trauma-informed. It means that I can continue to come to you and share with you. It means that we can continue to connect. Please join the community over at patreon.com/Rebecca Stevens Walter. And in the meantime, hold yourself, keep the hope, heal your hearts, and I'll see you on the internet.